Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of the alexr.emprende podcast. My name is Alex Rodriguez, and just in case you're new here, today in this video, I'm going to explain to you guys how you can actually exchange your money and get a lot, but it's going to be more than double and sometimes triple of the amount of money that you're going to get if you exchange it in these ways that I'm about to recommend you. You need to know, guys, that Cuba is passing through, I would say, the highest inflation in the Cuba's history, which is huge because 3 years ago, $1 was equal to 24 Cuban pesos, and nowadays is equal to 310 pesos. And tomorrow is going to be higher and higher and higher. So if you're planning to visit Cuba, this video is for you. Tip number 1, do not never exchange your money at the airport. You probably have heard about this. If you are new here, not only here in the channel, but here in Cuba, first time traveling to Cuba, the airport is the worst place to exchange the money. And the reason is because the exchange rate is going to be the official one, which is 120 pesos per dollar. So I would say that it's going to be triple time less. So if you're planning to get it, tip number 1, do not go to the airport. Do not do it. Wait until you get to the Airbnb host or the hotel where you're going to stay. And that's the first place or the first opportunity they're going to get if you want to exchange the money. Most of the times, the host of the Airbnb where you're going to stay, they're going to be like telling you, hey, I'm not allowed to do this, but I can help you. And the exchange rate they're going to give you is not going to be the highest, but it's going to be super compared to the official one. So that's an option. Another option that you get is by doing what most Cubans do. If you had a chance, or if you had the opportunity of being in touch with a local, you could say, hey, I want to exchange this amount of money. So that person could do it by putting WhatsApp status. That's what most people do in Cuba. So they know, for example, if a friend is selling USD or euros, they know how much they're going to get. It's like this, all right? The other way that you have is by going to a restaurant or a cafeteria or a place where you could actually buy by using USD or euros. Again, the official currency that you're going to get in Cuba is going to be the CUP, the Cuban peso. But if you go to a cafeteria and you say, hey, I want to buy a bottle of water, you have $50. They're going to give you the money back in CUP. Now, you need to know how much is going to be the exchange rate once you pay, because sometimes it's low. It's not going to be lower than the official one. But let's say that nowadays is 310 pesos, they're going to tell you is, 280, all right? So it's still higher than the official one, but it's lower than the highest. So you can negotiate. Or you can always say, no, thank you, I have euros. By using the euros, they're going to pay you even more. Because of the inflation, euros, they're even better. So those are the main ways that you have to. Now, if you don't know anyone, if you're like, I don't know what to do, here's what you have to do, right? Go to the website that is called eltoque.com. That is what I would say is giving to the Cuban people the real number about how the inflation is going, basically. So I would say like 2 days before your trip is going to be more than okay. So you can know exactly how much money you're going to get. And if you can always negotiate the price with the host before coming to Cuba. For example, I say that I'm coming to Havana and I'm going to stay in an Airbnb. Hey, by private. Hey, I want to exchange this amount. Could you help me? Yes. How much are you going to give me for this amount of money? They're going to tell you. So you know that at the end, you're going to get a good exchange rate. Guys, do not never go to the street. That's the last thing you can do. So many people do that. Some people get, the good exchange rate. So many people get scammed. So it's completely up to you if you want to do it. But I cannot tell you go and do that because it's risky. So I'm not going to tell you go and get robbed. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you either go to the bank because it's the official way, but you're going to get so much less if you do it that way. Right. So hopefully this podcast episode, teach you something. I mean, traveling to Cuba could get a little bit complicated if you don't know what to do, if you don't know how to exchange the money. Yeah, that's it for today's episode. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments down below. If you're planning to visit Cuba, I have to tell you guys, this video is not sponsored by any means, by anyone. If you want to support the channel, you can always become a member by going to the link down below, or you can always go to buymeacoffee.com and become a member for the amount of money that you would pay for a cup of coffee monthly. So that's going to be a big, huge help for me and for the people who work with me. So thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure having you here and see your smiling faces. Please, if you are the person who love listening to the podcast, go to Spotify and check the tips completely free. Thank you so much. Ciao, Picalo with the Picadillo.